a bit of a customer area here. And then, I gotta go check on the smoker.
Honor System Farm Store. I love it. You have any trouble?
No. You know, honestly, I don't advertise for it. It's all been word of mouth. You know,
So the people you tell.
Yep. And so really, nobody really knows about it unless they know about it. And everyone's pretty good about it. And we got a little clipboard here where people can just kind of write down what they took. A little cash box. And we got a square set up so you can run your own card if you want, or you can do Venmo. And usually I'm always around anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so like, and sometimes people, they just want to come in and go. They got things to do. You know, it's not time for chatting.
Yeah.
And same, me too. So you see people coming and going all the time, and other times they come back and there's a pile of cash. Or like I'll get a notice like, oh, we had a square sale. Like it's gone through.
Awesome.
I think at the end of the day, the cost of me having to man the store or hire somebody to do it is higher than if, not that I want theft.
But it's the loss that you might take.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's the walk-in there. It's off right now, but just use that cool bot.
Yeah.
With the AC setup.
Yeah.
Super slick. And then big prep area. Other freezers, fridges. And I get the smoking area here. I think the smoker actually. We have cheeses on deck.
Oh, wow.
Let's get in there.
So what all do you offer out of here? Like what kind of sausage, dinner sausages? What do you?
Yep, like bratwurst mostly.
Yeah.
And I've got a bunch of like smoked, fully cooked sausages. And our smoked cheeses, and then of course all our cuts. We're actually low right now on everything. So I got a new girl that's been helping me out, and she runs the farmer's market, and she just kills it. She sells way more than I ever could.
Right.
And so like we're running super low on most of our sausages now because I'm waiting for my 22 pigs to come back. So like I made everything, I'm all out of cuts and all out of meat, and the freezers are getting pretty bare. Eventually I can do things like jerkies and a bunch of dry cured stuff. But I have to build all my HACCP plans first. Well, this setup, I don't know if you've seen this before. Check this out. So, Meatback is our stud boar that we borrow from another farm. And he'll be coming back here as soon as Creamsicle has weaned.
Okay.
So hopefully they can get all synced up on their same cycle again. But we're looking at like mid-July.
Gotcha.
He'll come back, hang out with the ladies. They're always so happy when he shows back up. Rebreed, and then they'll be ready for winter farrowing again.
Looks like Barbie.
Looks like Barbie. I was going to say the same thing. We got the one we have piglets right now. She looks exactly like her. That Hampshire.
Oh, that's cool.
Belted look.
Yeah, this is Boots. And we got Peg Leg in there, Jaws, Spot, and then I can't remember what the other one, my boy named her recently. So now, because it's so much higher on the ground, they're like starting to put their head into it and knock that edge down.
Yep.
And that's happened the last couple of days. Like, and I may have to just push that out there a little more and move it up to a different spot.
Right.
But for the most part, these have worked awesome.
So this is something we're working with now is our feed. We're buying in bulk, but we're buying the bulk bags, like a ton bag.
Oh yeah,
You know what
I've got a whole top of the barn full of them things.
Yeah. And then we're using a buckhorn box, which has been a game changer for us.
What's that?
It's really made for seed, but it's just a plastic box that you can get your tractor forks under, and it's got a gate in the bottom of it.
And now does it come like a funnel?
It does in the bottom, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So it'll hold about 600-800 pounds according to what kind of feed you got, of course. We do a pelleted feed, but
Yeah, me too.
I would love to have some storage of some kind
Yep.
at some point.
This is probably, I just got this in last year, 2021.
Yep.
It's a long time coming because before that you get those bags of feed, you can fill up barrels, and I've got some videos I've done on how to build grain bins.
Yeah, I saw those.
And they work pretty good, but you know, they're not rodent proof.
Yeah.
You'd have to build a top for them, and they can work good if you have to move them around the barn and kind of stuff, but even then you're still, like my tractor only has a 500-pound lift on it.
I got you.
So you're still shoveling it out, and by the time you get it halfway down where the tractor could lift it, you might as well just finish shoveling it out. You're just handling it a lot.
Yeah.
So this is the way to go. I'm super happy that I finally got to picking one up.
For your feeders, do you do constant ration? Do you let them have full-time feed on like a gravity feeder?
Yep. Yeah, so what I'll use, is especially when the feeders are inside the farrowing barn all the time. They have a little creep area, and I can show you that as well. A little creep area, they can get away from the sows, and I just got a pallet that has plywood on it and a built-up rim, and then a barrel, 50-gallon barrel, with holes cut in the bottom. So I can just keep that filled. They can eat freely, and I'll do the same thing out in the woods, especially when they're just grown, they're taking off. Yeah, free choice. About to the time that they start getting pretty fat jowls. Yeah, you know, once you're around 175, 200-ish pounds, and I'm really starting to see that they're really starting to put on more fat. You can just kind of see that their rib definition isn't there. Yeah, that's when I'm starting to cut them back. Right. But that initial 3-4 months, I just let them go free choice. Gotcha.
Have you seen an increase in your feed cost with the inflation and? No,
not really. No. Yet. Not as dramatic as other things. I mean, fuel has shot up a lot, and the grocery store has. But if I look at my costs from last year, it's not significantly higher. I mean, it's risen a little bit, but I feel like it's just a matter of time.
We have seen a significant increase in feed. We have went from, I'll say 10, 12 months ago at $317 a ton to last week $520 a ton. Yeah. $200 increase over the last year.
So I think that's roughly what I've been paying for a while. So I may have been just paying higher prices because we're quite a ways away from the grain belt. Right. You know, to come all the way up here to the northeast, it's quite a little ways to go. So maybe we've just been paying more for a while.
How about your processing costs? Have they increased?
Not a lot. No, not really. Well, hang on. I get 22 coming back, so when I get this next bill, I may be surprised. It's funny you mentioned that. I hadn't even considered it, really. Yeah. I may be hurting. So they can come in here, and this feeder here, they've been knocking around. It had some feed in it, and I'll just stick a barrel in there, and then I can just come from the grain silo. Yeah. Just dump it in. It's nice and easy. But I'll use the same thing when they get out to the pastures. Right after they're weaned, they're outside. And depending on the season, I get a little trap door down here. It'll open up, and then I can fence this off and have a little pasture area when they're just like 3 weeks old, 4 weeks old. They're playing around. This year, this was full of snow, so there's a little bit of a delay.
So you run a deep bed system in here with these two?
Yep. But I will clean it. So once Creamsicle is done, that's Creamsicle there. Yeah. Once she's weaned, we'll come through and clean the whole thing right out. I'll pull everything out and then put in all new fresh wood chips and just give it that and then no one will be in here until it's time to farrow again this winter.
So how many total sows do you have? 6.
Yep, 6 now. Yep. And I was actually debating keeping a couple more because I've got 8 individual pens in here I can use, and if I had them on opposite cycles, I could run 16, no problem. Yeah. Can't hear anything. I'm screaming now.
Do you have like a 7 pounds per day, 5 pounds per day, or you just feed them a few buckets?
Yeah, usually right around 4. If they're right now where they're not bred yet, right, and they're just hanging out in the forest, right around 4 pounds a day. Gotcha. Once they start to, either the grass and all the nutrition in the forage disappears, or when they get bred and now they got calories going to gestation. Then I'll bump them up, kind of 5 to 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. And once they're lactating, they're actually nursing. There's a period where I'll for sure will give them almost that whole time free choice. Yeah. There's no real limit on it.
Here you go. Like you got some Duroc in you. Got those floppy ears. How old are your sows?
They're going on 3 years now.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, so they've all had, they all went about a year before we bred them. I wanted to be pretty mature before we started. Right. And then, so let's see, this last farrow was their 3rd farrow. And so I'm going to do another one, so they'll get 4. See, that's one thing, they need to be able to function kind of in our system. Yep. Because generally, some of this stuff, if I were serving really high-end chefs that were, say like bacon, where it's like, well, I need to have a Tamworth that has a much longer belly versus some other cut. Yeah. I'm not so specialized. Yeah. My cuts and my customer base is much more generalized. Like some folks want shoulders, Some folks want sausages. Some folks want really long ribs and bacon. You know, but I don't have any clientele that's so special that there's a particular breed they need.
Gotcha.
Usually, it's how they're being raised, their overall environment, and their diet.
Yeah.
And, disposition.
That's going to change. That's going to make their taste better. Just their overall diet, anyhow.
Yep, I agree. And 9 times out of 10, people really want to know, like, are they happy?
Yeah.
How are they being raised? They want to see it. They want that transparency. Do you do much like assisting births when you're farrowing? Do you help out your sows?
Me, sometimes, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I like to go and sit and watch. I don't assist unless they need it, really.
Yep.
I haven't had any trouble.
Yep.
I've had 1 or 2 that I've kind of pulled the sack off their head that
Yep.
I didn't think they would have made it. But
Yep.
other than that, I mean, I like them to be calm enough where I can sit with them.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Like traits like that. Like that's important. Like I've heard folks have actually gone there and helped out delivering birth, and it's like, you know, I would help out to get through, but then it's like, noted, we're not going to continue this line.
Yeah.
That's not a trait I want to
Exactly.
add this in if you want. I bought this farm from the Souders. So there was Greg and Judy Souder built this whole place, and this used to be a thoroughfare road, a solid road called the Staples Road. So the road you drove in on pretty much goes right beside this pasture. My fence line goes right beside what used to be a road.
Okay.
The beavers washed the road out, and the town said, we don't want to mess with it. It became a private road, and Greg and Judy changed the name of the road to Souder Station Lane. And so when I moved in, when I bought the place, there was on the front of the barn, it was like a big saloon-looking sign, and it said Souder Station, like an old saloon-looking sign, big letters. So I was like, why don't I just adopt that name? We've got the. So I asked them, you know, before I bought it, I was like, do you mind if here's what I want to do. I want to buy your place and start my farm and use your name as the farm. And they're like, have at it. Awesome folks. Yep.
All right, that's cool.
Yep.
All right, so you heard the story of how the Souder Station Farm came about. I want to say thank you for letting us come over today.
Oh, absolutely,
and
man.
visit. You know, we came all the way from North Carolina to Maine to see that you raise pigs basically the same way we do. There's not a lot of differences in it, but it's good to know that, you know, we're getting back to those smaller farms and getting back to the grassroots of raising animals the way they should be.
Yep.
And that's what I like to see and wanted to see. I really like your barn setup. It's kind of giving me an idea of maybe just for some farrowing areas for wintertime, so I don't have to move them off my farm like I've done in the past. Got some really nice sows, and I like your deep bedding setup. So
Thank you.
Thank you for letting us come by today again. And guys, as always, hey, we'll do it all again tomorrow. We won't be in Maine next time, but we'll do it all again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.